Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Junk Art, Junk Art's one of those games that some people have been raving about, and I went out and got it even though it's not really a game that I like. Those silly games where you're dexterity and you're trying to get things not to fall over, they're okay. This has got a really nice production. It comes in a really nice box. It's very colorful. The pieces are really chunky and nice. It's all neat, and I like how you play 3 city cards, so every game, at least there's going to be a different combination. You have a lot of different combinations of what you could be doing in a game, right? Either you're playing your own deck, or everybody's sharing a deck, you're placing on somebody else's, they're placing on yours. All these little things that go. With that said, it's just building blocks, right? This is a game I would play with my children where I'm just putting things together. I reviewed a game called Lift Up, where you're putting this contraption in your head and you're trying to build it with your head. It's all cute and laughy and families have fun. Junk Art is kind of the same thing. So I think it's something that, some gamers are going to like. I think that's fairly obvious. And I think families will like it. I think kids will really get a kick out of it. It just may have been oversold to me. At the end of the day, it's just a game where you take some blocks and you're trying to get them to balance and you don't want them to fall off. That's really what it comes down to. And there's different ways to accomplish that, right? And the pieces are designed not to fit together. They're designed to fall down. Ha ha ha. I just don't think it's something that, I've just seen so many of these. Is this one of the better ones? Sure. A lot of these dexterity games come down to how good the components are, right? Because if the components are shoddy and don't really work, the game is done. The components are really nice. You can't say anything about that. I think there's been some thought taken into the game. The game is really a bunch of mini games. What am I going to do with these pieces, really? And, so you may play a whole game and not like any of the little mini games that you're playing, or you may play a game like all 3 or some mixture of where you like some and you don't. Maybe you can just play the ones that you like. I don't know. At the end of the day, it all just seems kind of silly to me, just taking these wooden pieces and putting them together. And there's been so many games like this and most of them skew children, to be honest. I think this one's trying to skew a little more family or adult oriented. If it sounds like something you like, you'll want to buy it. Otherwise, pass this one by. Here is Junk Art. This is going to be kind of a wooden box. So this is going to sit down in it. And I just take this out, put it aside. And then you'll slide this out. Real nice and wooden. Maybe a little overdone. You're going to get instructions in a few different languages. My preferred language is English. So the rule book is big. There aren't really a lot of rules in it. So there are the components. Not a lot of rules in the game. The rules are going to be based on what cards come up. So that's kind of how they're going to do it. And there's going to be different rules for each card that might come up. The box is pretty well organized. You're going to have different colors. These are nice, big, chunky wooden pieces. They all have kind of different designs to them. You have different colors. You're going to have some of these square cards that will be used throughout the game. And then the cities that kind of tell you what's going to happen. These are okay. A little thin, but they're fine. You're going to get some wooden chits that work as victory points and some blocks that people will build off of. And these are wooden. All the components are wooden except for the cards, obviously, in the rulebook. Everything is really, really nice. These are pretty chunky. Perhaps they could have been chunkier, but they're fine. The whole point is that they're supposed to topple over, etc. The rulebook is nice. It's broken up to general rules, which is you can touch the base and one hand to put something on. You can move the pieces. So there's not a lot of general rules. The rules are really going to be what city that you're in and building in and what those rules are for that city. So this is almost like just a collection of mini games you're going to be doing, like a Mario Party or something. Here's what you're going to do. This one, here's the mini game, and here's the mini game over here. So I don't think you're going to read the rule book and memorize all the rules. You're just going to flip over the city card that you're on, refresh your memory what you're doing on that, explain it to everybody, and move on. And that's how I would play it. So the way the game is going to start, everybody's going to get one of these black pieces and a color of goods. The start player will get this, which will tell you which way the cards will go. You'll shuffle up the World Tour based on the number of players, and you'll pull out 3. And these will be kind of the rules for the game, okay? You're going to play 3 rounds and score points as it goes. Each one will kind of tell you how the game will go, and the scoring will be at the bottom. You will then shuffle up the junk art deck, and then you will set up depending on the rules of what's going on. So there are a few general rules that you can do. One, you can place your piece anywhere on this block. You can also hold the block with one of your hands and put a piece on. If you so desire, you can make a piece and move another one over. So that's kind of how a general rule that the game will progress. If at any time you cause a piece to fall, you would keep that piece and it would become set aside in front of you. Now, the way the game is going to progress is going to be with these World Tour cards. And each one is going to play the game a little bit differently. There's some blank ones so you can make your own. And I'll kind of show you a few of these of how these will work. Okay. So for example, let's say you're playing Monaco. Everybody would have their stack of cards, shuffle them up, turn over the top card, and then they would have to put it down. And you would keep doing this. Put that one there. So with Monaco, you just keep doing that. And the way it's going to, if any of the pieces fall off the structure, you must replace those pieces one at a time in any order before continuing. When you reach your 10th piece, the exhibit ends. You score fans according to the number of junk pieces in the structure. So if you have 10, you would get 5 of the victory points. If you had 7, 9, you would get 3, and 5 to 6 would get 1. So you're trying to build this up to 10 as quickly as possible. First one to get 10 out would then win the round. There's another one called Paris, where you shuffle all the cards together, and then you get dealt a deck of 3 cards, and these may be different colors, and you'd put one down in front of the person to your right, let's say, and that person then has to put a piece down, and you're actually building off of one structure instead of one in front of you. 14. There's 15, including the couple you can make for your own, and each one kind of has different rules, so it's kind of hard to explain exactly how it goes, but most of the time you just don't want it to tumble over, or you're trying to build something quick enough, and that's kind of how junk art works. Who should buy this game? Anybody who doesn't already have a dexterity game where you're kind of building blocks up and you don't want to be the one to topple them over. This is a pretty good one. If you're looking for something that has a bunch of mini games in it, different ways to play with that other than just build them up, this has it. So this is pretty interesting. There's a lot of different ways to do that. The downside is there are a lot of games like this, I feel like, where you're building things and not wanting them to topple over. Click-clack lumberjack. It's, the same thing where you're hitting the side. This one you're building it up. So, that's a little caveat. If you really like those dexterity games, this was just as good, and it's a good game. If you like, dexterity games, click-clack lumberjack, you're knocking them down. This one, you're building them up. If that appeals to you, I really think you're going to look at this game and say, this is appealing to me, or this isn't something that I would want to play. This isn't like a Euro game. There's nuance to it or anything. With these dexterity games, you're either in or you're out. I feel like a lot of times, maybe I'm speaking on my left ear, that's just the way I feel. I think on this one, I'm going to be out. So I think I'm going to purge this one, let this one walk on by. Maybe I would keep it around to play with the kids or the family for something to do. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.